Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Today's episode of The Mike O'Mara Show is brought to you by our bonus packages. Please go to MikeO'MaraShow.com and click on the bonus banner. You'll get access to all of our bonus content, and even better, you'll be helping out TMOS. So please quit sucking, and we thank you.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store, and around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
This is a very big day for the Mike O'Mara Show. We're very excited about the fact that we are going to have our first TMOS Talking Head today. We'll be joined by a listener. And, Rob, get it ready to introduce him, because I don't have the paperwork on our listeners. So
I got it right out, right chat.
Introducing, and we will do that a little bit later. But before that, in a land long ago, far, far away, when we were kicked to the curb, I was kicked to the curb in Washington, D.C., along with Oscar and Rob.
Yes.
It's in the book, Open Mic, From Corporate Radio to New Media, the story of the Mike O'Mara Show. It was time for reinvention, and it was time for us to get our ducks in a row. Right. And Oscar came to me and said, let's do a podcast, and we started doing that. And that's where we've been ever since, through another radio job that I had, which was another corporate radio event that didn't work out. And I was very, very frustrated with that. So the important thing to point out is there was one guy who said, I'll take your show in any form you have it. Just make it available to me. Mm-hmm. And back then, it was radio. And Steve Bridges has owned and operated KCJJ since 1873.
That's right.
And,
remember, it started, Mike, as a newspaper.
It's amazing. With the print that you put in little slots.
Yeah, typeface. Yeah, exactly.
And then you took a big wooden wheel and tightened it down, and then
he had an
printed it out.
internship with Gutenberg.
And ink was made out of whale blubber.
Exactly.
That's right. Mm-hmm. They go whaling.
In Iowa.
When you catch up and do that, that makes me happy for some reason.
Right. Back then, Mike, there were a few whales in the Iowa River. And what happened is Steve's father...
The Midwestern whales.
Yeah. Ahab Bridges would go out on the river.
Ridiculousness. Steve Bridges has an anniversary, and he had it yesterday. It was his, sesquicentennial?
A little more than that, 55 years.
55 years in radio. We don't do anniversaries a lot on this show. We really don't. We try, but we fail miserably.
Yes.
Because I was so anniversary-laden the first time. But we're going to call our favorite radio guy, Steve Bridges, and find out what's going on.
You used to do an anniversary every year back on the old show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
Why celebrate something that...
1630 KCJJ. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. That sounds like Tommy Lang.
Yeah, the captain is preoccupied at the captain's seat.
The throne?
Oh, is he playing a long record?
That's all right, Tommy. I'll talk to you any day of the week. I like talking. Now, are you back in the fold with the captain now, or what's going on with that?
I'm
show?
only a temp. I'm a 2-week temp. Hunter had some kind of surgery. What was it? Hernia surgery.
Oh dear.
So they told him to take 2 weeks off and rest up.
Oh my
Is it
God.
because Captain Steve makes him do so much heavy lifting during the morning show?
Yeah.
You know what, Tommy? Look, Jim's a very nice man. I don't want to cast any aspersions on him, but that show is the Captain Steve.
Yes.
And it's just Tommy Lang. I mean, it's just and we've been with you a long time as well. So it's just like, and I'll be honest with you. I feel as though since he came in, I'm talking about Hunter. Since Hunter came in, we've drifted apart. I've drifted apart from the captain.
He's our Yoko.
I think he's our Yoko. I really do.
The Yoko Ono
that.
of KCJJ.
Yeah, he never chimes in like you used to chime in when we'd be talking to Steve, and we'd be interviewing both of you guys,
right?
And and then when you were rebuilt, we were all very concerned about that. And how is your health, by the way, Tommy?
I've been fine. I mean, I could lose weight, but I think we could all say that.
Oh,
but liver-wise, doing very well.
Not me.
No. Your liver's not doing well, Rob?
No, I'm saying I don't need to lose weight.
Oh, okay.
It was
not
a joke.
I could try it.
That's true. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah. It's good to hear from you, and I don't know. You don't do the regular news gig on the Captain Steve show anymore, but you do have a regular show on KCJJ, right?
Yeah, I'm on after the morning show. My show, and the name will make no sense. It's called Hey Lang.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, Hey Lang.
Yeah, okay.
Hey Lang comes on, and KCJJ, the mighty AM 1630, has been our radio home for a very, very long time, and we figured out a way to really have almost a lifetime contract on a radio station.
Yeah.
You don't get paid. That's really the way it works. That's
You've been on the station longer than I have, and I've
That's
been here
true.
since 2005.
If you work for free,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about anything.
But also,
it's
Mike,
fantastic.
it's always interesting to and for us at least, from our listenership, to really know what Middle America is all about. You know,
It is.
the pulse of Middle America. It's
the
important.
pulse of Middle America.
Yes.
And, when I moved down here to Cocoonville, I was surrounded by Iowans. They're the Midwesterners. I got a bunch of John Deere guys down here. So, I mean, I know the Iowa temperament. And, Tommy, you could probably tell me, you could have probably told me this a long time ago. I thought of Midwestern hospitality and doors open and, hi, come on over. We're having a nice apple pie. Come on over and sit in the. I didn't realize, Tommy, until I moved and surrounded myself with all these transplants from Iowa, the bitterness and anger that exists in that state. It's significant, Tommy, don't you think?
Yeah, but that's also just coming from Steve, who I believe, by the way, I heard the restroom door open.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, nice.
Maybe some spray. Are
The
you
captain's
available?
capsule.
That means after 20 seconds of hand washing,
Yeah,
he'll be
I'm on
right
it
with
right
us.
now.
That's right. Make sure he washes
I'm
those
going to
hands.
put you on hold, and you will be speaking with the captain momentarily.
All right, and you stay safe during this time,
Yeah.
Tommy,
Yeah.
okay? Because you're immunocompromised.
Well, I know, it sucks. I got to stay home all the time, but I'm actually going to run to the studio, so I will be on with Steve when he goes to you guys.
Oh, that's
All right, very
sweet.
good.
Oh, very
Thank
nice.
you.
Looking forward to this.
Thanks.
Don't say
looking
anything mean
forward
while
to
we're on
this.
hold.
No worries.
No,
Love-
huh?
love
So the
hearing-
next thing you hear, we're going to have Steve talking to us on the air, correct?
Right.
So it's Lang's Hang?
New ABC News poll.
No, it's Hey Frage with Tommy
Hello?
Lang.
Okay, sorry.
Stephen,
Hello.
happy anniversary
Anniversary
to
to
you.
you.
Happy belated anniversary to you. Happy belated anniversary
Anniversary
to you.
Start relating.
I knew that yesterday you would be getting flooded with accolades, and I wanted to be more
Mr.
special.
President.
So I wanted to call the day after your anniversary, and on behalf of everybody at the Mike O'Mara Show, wish Steve Bridges a very happy 130th anniversary in show business. It's
Hell
it's
yeah.
very exciting.
It really seems like it. Hey, if there's one thing that I want to say,
Yeah.
Trump sucks. So
Here, here, sir.
Yeah,
Here, here.
bold statement.
Oh boy, yeah, I know. It's been a week, hasn't it?
yeah, it has.
Well, don't get you sound defeated. I don't want you defeated.
not
I want you angry,
I'm not
and I want you
defeated. I just-
mobilizing your listeners to get this done and get out and be
Right.
politically
Rock the
active.
vote.
I am not defeated. I just got out of the bathroom and I'm a little constipated. As you get older, it gets harder.
Oh, I get
That
that.
gets harder.
Trust me.
Nothing else gets harder.
You know, they have it in Iowa. There's this product called Miralax. I recommend it highly. It's good for what ails you. It'll be fantastic. So, congratulations on 55 years.
Yes.
In the radio business. You're an icon.
Well, thank you. Am I an icon? Am I like the recycle bin or the Google?
The more like the Google. The Google.
The Google. How is everything? It's been a long time since we've spoken, Steve.
Too long.
Are you distracted? Is there something?
Yes, I've tried. Yes, I've got a feed going, and I've got.
Well, do what you need to do.
Yeah,
we
just
can
saying
wait.
hi.
Yeah.
Are we on the air yet, or are you?
We're not on the air. Hold
Okay,
it.
okay.
No,
We're
he's
getting the
doing what he
low
always
energy
does.
Steve Bridges.
I got a CNN segment on.
All right.
I got.
So what happens here, Mike? And I've spent more time at KCJJ than you, so let me.
Well,
pull
you
back
wanted to
the
get a
curtain.
gig there.
Yeah.
You still want to get a gig there.
What he does is, if he has to go poop, he just puts on CNN, and then he goes to the bathroom, and then he comes back when it's done. So right now, you could be watching CNN or listening to KCJJ. It's the same thing.
So you're running CNN right now?
We're running. Yeah, we run segments of CNN. We run the segments of CNN that makes Trump look bad, and then we
Right.
go back we go back to our local news that has stories in it that makes Trump look bad.
I've got, I'm a big time CNN viewer, and I have my favorites and my non-favorites. And if you're listening to CNN in the morning, you got one of my non-favorites. I am not Camerata, an Allison Camerata lover. I do not care for her. No, that's insincere.
Camerata.
That insincere, dripping with insincerity, like, with the eyebrows up. No, don't care for her. Don't like her. Sorry.
What about Berman?
I'm all right with Berman. I think Berman's a good interviewer. I think he's a good interviewer. Yeah,
I like
it's
Berman.
not. It's Jim Berman. It's isn't it Jim Berman? Is that right?
John Berman.
John Berman. Sorry
It's
about that.
Sam Berman, isn't it?
Stop it.
No.
Stop
Richard?
it. Behave yourself.
Sam Berman is a clothing line.
I see.
Sam
You see,
Berman
Rob
Cabana
said, I'm going to
shirts.
call you right at 7 o'clock. So
That's
we had
a lie.
timed everything.
That's a
No,
lie.
I've got it. I've got it in print somewhere, either messenger
Well, Rob
or
didn't
email.
tell Oscar. Did Rob say anything to me about that?
No, maybe he was just testing him at
No,
7
I
a.m.
said we're starting at 7 o'clock Central
Rob
Time, and we'll call
said
you sometime
whatever
after
I
that.
say goes. Rob said, he thinks he's in charge, Mike does, but I'm in charge.
That's
what
not
Rob
Allison
said.
Camerata.
I said, that's not
Oh,
right.
it came up. It came up
that's
as
not-
Allison Camerata. I'm sorry
Rob's
about
showing
that.
a picture of Breonna Taylor.
Oh, nice pull. Look at you, Mike.
Wow.
Yeah,
You know your anchors.
You know what's on all day here.
How long is this
Feeding
damn-
me.
I don't know when this segment's going to end.
Let's go. There she is.
Oh, you're
That's
good? Yeah.
That's a
friendly face.
See, that's like, hi, I'm supposed to smile now.
No, she looks like she's eager to give you bad news. That's the face.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
This
precisely.
is cruel.
Yeah, I think it's unwarranted.
What's
This
cruel?
woman looks like, what's the woman on Underdog? That's what she looks like.
Tess
whatever.
Trueheart?
Yes.
Underdog.
Steve,
Of all the polls.
let's talk to you while you're running your
radio empire.
your CNN. That's okay. I've got 10 minutes. I'm fine. We can
We're live,
we can
baby.
move
We're
along.
live.
Yeah.
We're debuting on KCJJ this afternoon. You're going to be hearing Talking Heads on TMOS Talking Heads, where we are going to be letting a Zoom call participant join in from our listening audience, and we're going to match a face with the name. I've taken calls for years. It's going to be nice to take a call from a listener and actually look at him and chat and have a spotlight
Chit-chat.
on him for a while. So, the Mike O'Mara Show, Steve Bridges, constantly freshening our content, constantly trying little tiny
And-
different things.
Evolve or die.
And I think that's a mistake because I've been doing the same thing for 55 years. And I don't think I've ever. I mean, I was doing a monologue earlier on Truman. So, if
Harry
it was
Truman.
funny then, it's funny now.
It was good to hear Tommy Lang's voice.
Yes.
I guess how's your other radio guy Jim Hunter doing?
He had a. Hold on a second. Now we can go on the air.
Oh, together.
Okay,
good.
very good.
Oh,
That's
nice.
why he's
Go on the
distracted.
air.
We'll get
Big
it.
time
I'm
radio
waiting.
right now.
I'll stand by. We are now doing it. You're going to be.
He will now transform.
Yes.
CNN segment for this.
I can't break in very important segment. It was an important segment. It was a wonderful segment.
Not as important as this.
This is okay. This is an important segment too.
Are we on?
It's the Mike O'Mara people.
Yes, I've been talking to them. You've been
Mike
talking to them.
O'Mara people.
We've been talking to them for 20 minutes off the air.
Yeah.
Well, I'm done.
Good to hear
Rob
you
said,
guys.
I will call you right at 7 o'clock. I said I don't think he even start the show then. He said I will make Mike get up early. I will tell him what to do.
Right.
He's under my thumb. Is
Exactly.
the word that I would like to hear him say.
Yeah, they're working me right now.
Yeah.
They're working me right now.
How dare they?
We're on the Captain Steve and Tommy Lang show on KCJJ right now, celebrating our wonderful owner, general manager, chief cook, and bottle washer, Steve Bridges, for being 173 years in the broadcast business. It's really, really exciting. And I know the big anniversary festivities. Did you do anything special yesterday for the official anniversary of being on the air for 55? And by the way, when you do a 55 instead of just waiting to the 60th anniversary, that's usually telling me something. Are you planning on punting anytime soon?
You mean have you still got an affiliate?
An affiliate.
Bingo.
A affiliate.
Bingo, bango.
One affiliate. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to,
I am here for the duration.
they're going to carry you out. They're going to carry you out. I have to say this, Steve, that, now that I am in my 6th decade, and by the way, a good long part of that lifetime has been on your air, and I'm very thrilled about that. I will tell you, as I have grown older, I have really begun to enjoy what I do a little bit more, and I don't put any kind of end date on my run here. When I was back doing regular afternoon drive and doing the Don and Mike show, I was thinking 50, 51 years old. I'd be stepping off because I just didn't enjoy it. I really didn't. There was just too much corporate crap that we dealt with, and I didn't like that. But now I just I like doing this. I like the relationship with the listeners, and I love being on KCJJ. That's why I asked that question. But I'm not here to talk about me. I'm here to talk about you and 55 years. And how has radio changed since you began your run back in the day when it was a brand new medium?
Started as a newspaper, right?
Well, when I was a child, 1630, the frequency 1630, was
I think it was a year
specified. Shut up.
We all were thinking the same joke.
The frequency 1630 was police calls. and now I'm on it.
And you're beloved in the Iowa
Hometown
City
hero.
area.
Some people do. Yes, they like it. Some people like it.
Some don't care for it.
Yeah, some people just don't care for it.
Mike, to put it in perspective, when he started on the radio, and I did this research, the #1 record in America was Help Me Rhonda by the Beach Boys. And now 55 years later, both he and Brian Wilson are better than ever.
Oh, yes, still going strong.
The late show last night. That is
See, it went from Help Me Rhonda to Help Me My Proctologist.
I have a legitimate question to ask you, Steve, because we know, you didn't waste any time getting to, before we went on the air here, talking politics and how frustrated you are with the current administration. I am familiar with the Midwestern way of life, and particularly people from Iowa, and the people I hang out with down here. That is not what I would describe as a commonly held political viewpoint, and I'm wondering what kind of blowback you get on your politics on KCJJ, because there are a lot of conservative people from Iowa.
There are, but we're, thank God, in a liberal bastion, and our county is very liberal, and it's well educated, and it's not dumb enough to believe that this is the way this country should be run by some big buffoon, on Twitter.
Okay, all right. I like the way he tells it the way it is, the way he's thinking about that.
0 Fs.
caveat to that, though.
Okay.
Yes.
A regular segment 3 times a week with a Hawkeye website where they come on and we basically record the podcast on the air.
Okay.
So you guys probably know what that's like. And so there are people listening to the podcast who don't listen to the station, and they don't care when Steve, in the middle of talking about the two deeps on the Iowa football team, just starts ripping Trump. And it's weird. It comes out of nowhere. And then the poor guys from the website, I don't care for this political talk.
Oh, wow. That is too funny. That is too funny. In your 55 years, Steve Bridges, on the airwaves, what would you describe, outside of this conversation with me right now, as your all-time high moment, the pinnacle? What's the best thing? And you could also throw in what the worst thing is that's happened in your radio career.
And add a punter fact into it.
Oh, dear.
I think the best part of this thing is when there are tornadoes, or there is unrest like there is now, or something where you actually have something meaningful to do. And it means, like COVID, where we're here and I get a ton of letters saying you're making things normal.
I get that
for us,
Yeah.
and thank you. And then the worst is when I had an ablation, and they on my heart, and they went through my groin, and I had to sit on a pack of ice.
Yes.
That'd be number one.
You know, it's weird. Both,
Number one.
Mike, the
That's
high
why
and the
this
lows.
man's a great interview right there.
They're both medical, but so different.
Oh my God,
I love you, Steve.
And did you do anything special yesterday? Were there any celebrities that called in on your anniversary show yesterday?
No.
That's fine.
No, not really. I heard
No.
from my first program director on Facebook, and Bobby Rich, who I absolutely love. And even though we've got different styles, he really showed me how to do this. So I heard from him. That meant a lot to me. And let's see, my wife had me pick up Burger King last night as a celebration.
That's nice.
That's sweet.
They got the
And how
order
and how
wrong.
is Jan? How is your wife doing? How is Jan doing?
You know, as good as can be expected, married to me.
She's very brave.
Is a straight answer. Oh my God! And are you still using the puppets?
We haven't used the puppet. Hunter doesn't understand the puppet.
Yeah, that's true.
No surprise there.
Hunter is our own puppet, actually.
Does Hunter think the puppets are real?
No, he's not Gavin. I mean,
Yeah.
Poor Gavin.
Yeah, Hunter. You know, it was the Captain Steve and Tommy show for a long time, and Jim has come in and when Tommy got sick, Jim came back, and Jim joined up with you, and I wish him well with his hernia. And all that, constant health issues out in the Midwest.
That's kind of what happens. Actually, Tommy got sick, and I went outside the studios here, and there was this shadow flying over me, this thing circling the building, and it came down, and it was Hunter. And
A dark cloud, really? Is that the way you want to? Yeah.
he had an animal in his mouth. And,
Like a vulture,
yeah, just like a.
waiting for the death. I understand. Yeah.
It's all. I am. Yes, I'm honored to be on KCJJ and honored to call you on your 55th. And it was really, to be honest, I've always been fond of Tommy, and it was I was gassed to pick up the phone and have him on the line and have you guys together during this time. I think it's you're a special combination, you two.
well, thank you. I enjoy it, and I love it when you guys call us and check in.
We really do, and we love carrying the show, of course.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that's wonderful, and I'm here to tell you.
You don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
That absolutely. And,
There you go.
and-
It's a
and-
win-win.
and-
It's a win-win.
And just like Bob Barker says, the price is right. Thank you and congratulations to.
When Rob calls and said, "Hey, we dropped the F-bomb. Can you re-record it?" I said, "Nobody's going to notice. Don't worry about it."
Steve Bridges,
Hey, guys,
congratulations. Godspeed. Take your phone call and listen to the Mike O'Mara Show this afternoon on KCJJ at 5 o'clock. Thank you, Steve.
Hey, thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Rob, Oscar, thank you.
Wait,
Bye, guys.
Love you, man.
Congratulations. There you go.
Somebody wants to talk to
Somebody
you.
wants to talk to you guys. Hold on. Go
I
ahead.
don't know what's going on. All right. Shut, Pony.
I got
Hang
him.
up.
I got him.
God almighty. Pandemonium. I never know what's going on. I don't. Did you understand the Jim Hunter that what the F was he
He was
talking
trying
about?
to indicate that Hunter smelled blood in the water, so he was circling like a vulture, waiting for Tommy
that's
to
what
die.
he was doing.
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But
I
I
get it.
also think the takeaway here is that Jim Hunter, quote, doesn't understand the puppets.
Well, you know what? Jim Hunter and with Tommy Lang and Steve Bridges tracked with our show.
Right.
And have you noticed an appreciable distance? Although they keep us on, thank
Right.
God.
Yeah, but
we're
if-
not as plugged into that
Mike,
that radio station since he joined.
In fairness
Right.
to us, if
He doesn't. Jim
doesn't get
Hunter
the-
doesn't like us.
if
That's
he doesn't
right.
get the puppets, he might not get the show.
That's right.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm
You
going
know?
with that.
Yeah.
right.
And I'm not so
Rob,
sure it
you're
was-
more plugged into
Yeah,
that.
why don't you
whole-
embed yourself into Jim Hunter and figure out what his story is? Off
and
air.
find out more about him?
I'm not so sure it was a hernia.
Really?
It might be elective cosmetic surgery.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Because they have a video presentation, too,
By the way, for those of you that don't know, the overwhelming majority of our listeners right now, Jim Hunter is the morning news guy.
News anchor, yeah.
With Steve Bridges, who replaced Tommy Lang, who was a TMOS guy all the way.
Yes.
Right.
Jim Hunter, anytime we get him in there, I don't know. I wonder about that, right?
There isn't the chemistry that we had with Tommy, but in fairness, with Tommy,
he might like the show. I don't know.
Tommy, his life has been chronicled on air and off air, where we almost lost Tommy, right?
That's right.
And then
he had a liver transplant.
They literally rebuilt him.
Right?
Yeah. But you know what? Tommy is more of a radio personality, and Hunter is really, and Mike, you can talk to this. He's really a news guy, and news guys are a type.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what it is.
Right?
And by the way, Tommy Lang, we have followed his liver transplant.
Yeah. Yes.
And then when he went back on the road with Stephen Stills and Graham Nash, it was really, really exciting. And let's start the damn show. Here we go.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business. From the entertainment capital of the world.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Rob Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his easy chair, here's Mike.
You have to turn the microphone on to talk on the radio.
That's right.
We are live from the Podcast Village studios in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. This is the Mike O'Mara Show, heard all over Cushing, Oklahoma, Yarrington, Nevada, Southern Shores, North Carolina, Beverly Hills, California, Flower Mound, Texas, and Nha Trang, Vietnam. That's right. You heard me correctly. The show today brought to you by Cornerstone.
Yes.
By the way, what was that clip at the beginning?
Yeah, I didn't know where the hell that came from either.
That's from The West Wing. It was a really great hangover scene from The West Wing.
Okay.
Maybe something from 1990 and on beyond.
I think that maybe the West Wing, that maybe that kind of activity going on now at the White House with staff members.
Yeah, I would think so.
Right? I'm sure there's some drinkers there.
I would be like, oh man, not again.
Remember, he said he couldn't get home because he couldn't find his keys or remember where he lived.
As things slowly start to reopen, we're seeing signs of stabilization in the housing and mortgage market. So it's more important than ever to work with a friend you can trust. I trust the team at Cornerstone First Financial. They did my mortgage for my home. As we adapt to the new normal, Cornerstone First has emerged as a leader by educating our listeners, not selling them. Their low-rate guarantee and the fact that they are a lender and a broker allows them to have all the programs available, and a retail bank can't do that. Call my friend Mark Livingstone, Cornerstone First Financial today, 202-625-1221, or online at cornerstonefirst.com. Interest rates on 30-year fixed rate, the rates have fallen now into the twos. Wow. Might have to call them again.
Sure, they remember you.
That's pretty cool. Cornerstone First will put your home's value to work for you. We'll come out of this together, and when we do, Cornerstone First will be there. 202-625-1221 or cornerstonefirst.com. Cornerstone First Financial, personal attention from application to closing. Not in this segment, but in the next segment, we are going to be joined by our talking head of the week, our TMOS talking head, who is standing by. Is he okay?
Everything's
for a
good.
Quick segment here, and then we'll be able to join him.
Absolutely, yeah.
And what is the listener's name this week?
Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas of Baltimore, hon, and a
Very
good guy.
exciting.
Good guy.
That's
Lots
good.
of stuff to
From the
talk to him
Wendy's
about.
fortune.
No,
so
not that guy.
I real brief because we had just a few minutes here. Let me say that I plugged the television series that's been out for a long time, Outlander. It's I'm watching it on Netflix, and Outlander is, just to make it a really short, sweet story of a woman from the 1940s, comes back from World War II, goes to Scotland on a second honeymoon, goes to like a Stonehenge place that's magical, and she touches this stone and is transported back to the 18th century. Scotland, and living with Highlanders and being chased by British soldiers and all the stuff that ensues. That's the synopsis of where I am with the show.
I tell you what,
It's
you caused
fantastic.
a lot of rings in the TMOS pond when you threw this stone, because when you said you were watching it, Facebook lit up. Oh my God, he's finally watching it. So many people are fans. Not only, apparently it's based on a series of books. People love the books. People love the show. And people are excited that you are on board.
Well, what I didn't know, and when I'm trying to pop it on, I think in terms of kind of a historical thing, it's a little gory, can be a little bloody.
Sure.
But more than anything else, no one told me it's like porn. Okay,
really?
So,
what?
yeah, it's this young lady.
Hypersexual?
This young lady and the actress's name, I'm sorry.
Let me look it up.
So when I can't
It's
pronounce
not
it,
a very clear.
it's an Irish name, and it's one of those, it's like Saoirse
Is
or
it the blonde
the
or
other
brunette lady?
It's the brunette. It's the
Okay.
star of the show, the Claire Beecham star of the show. We're trying to put my son down last night.
It's
My wife
it's
has gone to her
McLeod?
bed. It's not McLeod.
Outlander, sorry.
It's
She plays
Outlander.
Claire, right?
Claire. I am putting my son down. My wife's going to bed. I didn't realize. I'm just popping on Outlander because I think this is fine to watch.
Sure.
I didn't realize that this lady is naked always on the show. It's just nonstop. Whether it's the
Catriona Balfe.
Catriona. It's an almost impossible. Those Gaelic names or those Irish names can be very.
Burn.
Can you see this?
Well, that's
see
a
this, right?
Scottish.
This is her?
Yeah, can you put that up closer to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
camera?
of course.
Is that possible?
I can,
Okay.
Mike. I will.
Okay.
Look at
There you
this.
go.
There's a dramatic zoom coming.
He's trying to do it with technology. There she is. There she is. There's the actress
Wow.
that is the
And
lead
she's
character.
naked?
She's naked a lot.
How oppressive.
And it's but I didn't count on that. So I'm pausing it.
Right.
And my son comes. I put my son down
Hold
to
it.
bed.
Are you pausing it to capture a moment? Or are you pausing it?
No,
to
I'm pausing it. No, you perv. No, I'm not doing that.
Just checking.
I put
Oscar,
my-
that's a
look at
perfect
Oscar's-
shot.
There it is.
There she
There
is.
she is.
Hold on.
Yes.
Let's zoom out. and
Rob's
zoom in.
camera. Rob's bet that. Let's
That's so
leave
much better.
that
Yeah,
to Rob.
I'm gonna leave it
Let's
to Rob.
leave that
Leave it
to
to
Rob.
Rob. Leave it to
Putting the pictures up.
Thank you,
You can
thank
put
you,
it
thank
down.
you.
It's just a blurry outline of a
Goodbye.
woman.
I'm going back.
So here it is. The I pause it because we put my son down to bed. And then he comes out 5 times, which is what a 6-year-old does. He's it's cute. It's fine. We don't go nuts. But I put him. He's got a hard bedtime at 8 o'clock.
Right.
And then I pop on my Outlander. Carla goes into the bedroom to watch what she's watching, which is so why did you kill that man?
Of course.
That's what she watches. So I'm pausing it because it's in the middle of her getting jiggy with it with another cast member. The men that she has had relations with so far are her husband and then the Outlander guy, and then very close on 2 separate occasions to the evil British sergeant or commander or captain. So I paused this, and it's like in mid, but I've paused it in a spot where you're not really seeing anything. It's just
Captain, my
that's her
captain.
when she was. That's blurry too. I don't know what's
like
going
right
on.
up on the screen.
So that's
Catriona Belfi.
Yeah, that's how you have
she's
to do
very
it.
attractive.
That's from when she was very
Jeez,
young,
yeah.
and she was a model. And so no one warned me that this was going to be. Now I know why our pervy listening audience loves
they're
it.
into it. Yeah,
That's
looks
a
good. She
more
looks good.
modern picture of her.
Yeah.
She's lovely.
She's aged well.
Wonderful actress.
Like a
too.
fine wine.
She's delightful. But I didn't know that we were going to see so much of her, and so that's just the message that goes out there. And believe me, I'm no prude. I like that content as much as the next guy, but okay, we get it. She likes to bang the Highlander.
Okay,
I get that. I understand that.
But I guess the question is it Game of Thrones type of like sexual sensual?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I would describe
All right,
it. It's
all
not. It's not like watching a porno
No.
or
It's
a
not
soft
like
porn.
naughty stewardesses.
No, naughty stewardesses.
What you see
that's
is
a
what
blast
you
from the
get.
past right there. What you see is what you get with naughty stewardesses. They're having a layover, and boy, do they want to party. All right. Anyway, that's now you got me thinking about that.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
We used to have on the old Don and Mike show these old porno
his name
promos.
Al Adamson, the
I
guy that
don't
produced them
remember.
all. We
I
caught
don't
him before he
remember.
died. We talked to him.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We used to have a fleet
So
of
he would be the
pornographers on the
voiceover
show.
guy?
Yeah, and the producer. And he would do like,
Naughty stewardesses.
you won't
And he had
believe what goes on in the groove room.
I think they were a series of softcore
Yes.
films that were produced in the 70s, something like that.
Oh, I remember the best one. You're playing with fire with females for hire.
Females for hire. You got to dig those up now.
I will. You know, believe it or not, Oscar, those commercials were on 45 RPM record.
Wow.
That's how they distributed the commercials to radio stations.
You're playing with fire. With females for hire. That is a blast from the Don and Mike show that I would revisit, and giddily so.
I would invite you to tune in Monday then.
All right. So anyway, Outlander, softcore porn.
Yeah,
Almost.
not safe for work.
No, it's more like Game of Thrones nudity,
but
there's a lot of it. Like
there's a lot of it to moan.
A lot of it. And as far as with guys are concerned, almost you get ladies, you almost get to see, but not quite. You know, all I know is I'm pausing it, and then Carla comes out and she goes, "What are you watching?" I said, "I'm watching Outlander." Oh, and then she does a little pivot. She goes, "Oh, now I get it." Pivots, goes back into her castle, and I'm Pervolino O'Mara. All right, when we come back, we're going to be joined by Jason.
Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas.
We're going to be joined by Sam Thomas,
right?
Who will be joining Brian Thomas from Baltimore will join us when we come back for a segment we call TMOS Talking Heads, where we reach out and we get to know the listeners.
All right.
Won't that be fun? We'll be right back on the Mike O'Mara Show. This segment of the Mike O'Mara Show is brought to you by Freshly. Life is complicated, especially now. The last thing you need is a hassle in the kitchen. That's where Freshly comes in. Freshly understands that food needs to be delicious, healthy, and simple. And Rob Spiewak can't even keep the Freshly products in his refrigerator with his family descending on them every day.
Well, I got to tell you this right now, even as we speak, Robert is under general anesthesia getting his wisdom teeth out.
Oh, it's today.
Which means he's going to be on soft food for the foreseeable future. His last meal, like a prisoner, his last meal he requested was Freshly buffalo chicken with loaded cauliflower. Of anything in the world, that's
really
what
good.
he wanted.
It's really good.
And that's what he ate last night. And now, Jell-O and mashed taters for the duration.
With Freshly, you can avoid the grocery store and enjoy fully prepared dinners delivered fresh, not frozen, right to your door. Freshly chefs and nutritionists do all the hard work. All you do is heat. 3 minutes, dinner's done. Imagine better for you golden oven fried chicken, creamy springtime risotto. Oh, anytime a food company's laying for soda out there, they've got their act together. Fall apart tender beef brisket. That's just a few of the 30 plus health conscious options to choose from. Join the almost 1.5 million satisfied Freshly customers and skip the shopping, the prepping, the cooking, and the cleanup. Freshly is offering our listeners $40 off their first 2 orders at freshly.com/TMOS. Don't wait. That's freshly.com/TMOS. Trying to read a commercial with Cruel Summer in the background, which is just ha-da-da, ha-da-da-da-da. It's almost impossible. I hate that song.
Really?
I cannot stand that song.
You know what? It's out of the...
Who recorded that song?
Bananarama, and it was featured on the soundtrack to Karate Kid. But Mike, I tell you what, it's off the recurrent playlist. No, it's out of there.
Summer?
I love
Oscar?
Bananarama.
We can still play Robert De Niro's Waiting. We can still play Venus. We can still play all of their other great hits.
Well, who cares? Let's bring in our TMOS talking head of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome from Baltimore, Maryland, Mr. Brian Thomas. Brian, what a great backdrop! What a great Batman. What's the other thing you got there? What is that?
Green Arrow.
Green Arrow. Are you a comic book aficionado?
More of a movie fan that's a fan of comic book superheroes.
Well, look at you. Look at you. That, you know what? During this time of social distancing and COVID, we've been analyzing all the talking heads on television and their backdrops. I give you a good solid 10. You crafted your backdrop.
That means a lot. Thank you.
That's terrific.
Do you want to say with the backdrop we started with last night, Brian? Because we had a little pre-show meeting.
Oh, did Rob coach you on your backdrop a little bit?
He caught me at a really bad time as I was just eating my dinner and just coming back from a Walmart run, because that's how classy we are. And we're in the middle of decluttering. That's the best way I can describe it. And my wife and I now share an office. She has her makeup vanity, which you luckily cannot see, It's with all the mirror and all the lipsticks and all over the
Mike,
place.
it's literally it's like backstage at a Broadway theater. It's a mirror with light bulbs all around it. It was such a great setup, but it really didn't look what I expected Brian to be set in. That's the thing.
I can't get over how cool
awesome.
things look right now.
So cool.
Brian, thank you for this. Before we get to your long-term relationship with our great show, and I want to talk about you because I'm looking at those two figurines. They're not figurines; they're figures, full figures. Are those like mannequins with costumes on them, or are they? Yeah. Or are they models? What are they back there?
They're actually full costumes that I wear. Not just for Comic-Cons. I actually do hospital visits. I started that last 2 years.
Oh, cool!
I didn't know that. Good for you.
Give you a little round of applause on that one. So, what do you do in the great city of Baltimore, Maryland?
I work for the federal government.
Yay!
And I am full right-wing conservative. No, I'm kidding.
No, stop it.
I couldn't help. I just want to see Mike's reaction with that. That's all.
You would be welcomed. You would be welcome. Yeah. We've always known that there is a significant number. We've always been divided. Maybe not as 50-50 as we were at the beginning, but we've been pretty much split down the middle for a long time. I flap my gums and do that all the time. So how long have you been with the feds?
I just hit 10 years on Monday, actually.
Congratulations.
So,
Congrats.
Very cool.
Thank you. I would tell you what I do, but it's pretty boring. But it pays the bills. So I work for Social Security, and I work on notices that go out to retirement and disability.
Have you been staying at home, or have you been going into work, or what's been your situation in Maryland?
Actually, my wife and I both work for Social Security, so we've been teleworking. So she's in one room, I'm in the back cave the whole time, and it's been nice. We have no idea when we're supposed to go back to work. I've heard it could be July. I heard it could be the fall. No one knows. So
I think my daughter, the archaeologist, was called me at about 7:10 this morning, and was on her way to work. She's just recently gotten back to working as an archaeologist and going down to I forgot where it is that she's working on a military base where they're excavating a certain area of the base property and doing that. Excuse me. But so how did you get involved with the Mike O'Mara Show? Because that's the primary reason, is to stroke our own egos, to find out how you got involved with the show.
We've actually hung out with Brian and his wife multiple times during live shows.
Yeah.
We have, or you have?
No, we have. You and I and Rob.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Did you remember that like when Brian told you, or did you just remember it based on his personality?
I just remember seeing him in New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken. Or, the last time, right? Yeah. Correct, yeah.
All right, so
I
let me ask
spent a week
you
with him in New Orleans one night. It was
so both of you have hung out with Brian?
Yeah.
And have I hung out with you guys?
You were close
too,
by. I don't know if you actually hung out with him.
Yeah.
See, this is the moment where I try to, whether it's my early dementia.
No.
Whether
it's your fame.
Just,
it's your level of fame. Not everybody can approach the hot flame.
But that's not
the hot
true.
Hot flame of
That's
fame.
not true.
They don't want to get. They don't want to get burned.
That's not true. Now stop it. You're twisting this into something evil.
Why don't we let Brian answer the question?
All right, Brian. How did you come to be involved with the Mike O'Mara Show?
I used to listen when I was back living on the Eastern Shore, and I was actually working for a radio station then too, as a matter of fact.
Where did you work on the Eastern Shore? What radio station?
It doesn't exist anymore, so that tells you a lot. But it was X1069. It was an alternative rock station down there.
Cool.
Oh, and, where? What part of the was it in St. Michael's?
Bishopville.
Wait, hold
Mike,
on.
that's Market 12.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Right under Chicago.
I worked on the Eastern Shore.
I don't know where Bishopville is.
I programmed a radio station on the Eastern Shore. I worked there for a decent chunk of time back early in my career. I do not.
Is that new property?
Bishopville. Where is Bishopville?
Bishopville is right outside Ocean City. If you're crossing the Route 90 bridge, it's right over there.
Ocean City.
On the other side of Ocean
City. Ocean.
So,
wow.
So
it's
were
a
you
suburb of Ocean City?
Were you part of the Ocean City stations? Is that what it was? Because that's a.
It was its own separate radio station. I would almost say it's like a KCJJ. It's just
that's
there.
cool.
That's neat.
That's cool.
What's the station we were on? What's the station we were on in Ocean?
It was We were a
Wait,
couple down there.
the wave,
Yeah.
Yeah, we were used. We were used like
and
a dirty
abused.
whore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All the time.
Anyway, I used to listen to you when I was working. Anytime I would be driving my car, I'd be listening, and then all of a sudden, I remember when you came back in just the Mike O'Mara show on terrestrial radio, and I would actually listen to it via iTunes. That's when you would have to actually download the clips, and I would do the same for Big O and Dukes. I got to give.
Oh,
Big
thank
O and
you.
Dukes.
Very sweet.
Good. All right. Well, it's
And you know, I actually, Oscar, I don't know if you remember this. I actually was an intern, and I used to be on your promotion. Well, not your promotions team, but I would come out for promotions with you and Chad back at the days of Dave and Buster's at HFS in Baltimore.
Oh my God, Triple OG, Mike. This is when we would go to literally like to a mobile on the run, and we do a promotion at a mobile on the run, which is you're basically your little shop at your mobile gas station,
Right. Yeah.
And the ad exec would
if
be
you
like,
need gas and a quart of milk,
Man,
this is the place to go.
I thought cricket was bad.
Oh, it's a
I
tie.
never did a mobile on the run. Jesus Christ.
can
you
beat
dodged
that.
many
Put
bullets.
a bullet in my head.
Mike,
Wow.
when they first launched Mobile on the Run, they put me at a Mobile on the Run to wash windows.
Was this at JFK?
This is
Yes,
during
but here's the
HFS
deal.
and JFK days. Yeah.
But here's the deal: they put me in a Mobile on the Run shirt to wash windows. Never identifying the
remember that.
fact that
I
I was
remember that
representing
bit.
the radio station,
Yeah,
and
I remember that bit.
and this was a Libby Hughley thing, and I
Yeah.
said, Libby,
Yeah.
you
no,
realize
no surprise there.
if you're not identifying the fact that
Give
I'm
the
representing
gas station a remote. Thank
Yeah.
you.
If
Way,
you're
way,
not-
way to polish that brand, Libby.
if you're not
Way to
knowing
shine
that
it
I'm-
up. Way to shine it up as in our death throes.
They are annual buys.
Yep, she was the
Jesus
same one.
Christ.
She was the same one that told me to take her cell phone and pretend to phone into the radio station that we were doing
my
a live
God.
remote.
Horrible. Horrible.
That was a
horrible.
Jordan Kitts appearance, Mike.
Yeah.
Wow.
for
Well, back
pianos.
to our TMOS
Yes,
talking
please.
You
head.
made the right choice.
Please.
You got out of radio.
Yes.
Yes, very much. Yes, I did. Yeah, and then I ended up a state trooper for a year and a half, and then I ended up back into business. But
Okay.
that's another story for another time.
You-
Anyway,
you've been you've been a DJ, a state trooper, and now you're working for the federal government.
I was promotions, shady sales guy, and then a trooper, and then back to business.
Okay, so
Please don't
Brian,
hang up on me right now.
No, I'm just thinking about reporting you to the authorities. I think you might be a spy. I think you might be a spy, Brian. But it sounds like you've had an interesting. But I mean, you're a young guy. How old are you, Brian?
I am 35.
35. That's a lot of career.
Just
in,
just had your
in
first
that
child,
venue.
correct?
I did. Yes.
Yeah, congratulations.
She's a year and a half. Thank you.
Oh, that's wonderful. And
That's
you know,
why
we
the dark
we
circles
reached.
under my eyes right now because I've been up since like about 4 a.m. Give or take.
Well, that's why do you think I wear these? You know, because
Yeah.
when I take these off, it's always very, very frustrating when I do that. So, Brian, we only have a few seconds because to make this last. And by the way, kudos to Brian Thomas for being the first guy to do. It takes some guts to
Hell
you know,
yeah.
to break the seal and. So to speak, and to come on and be one of the first guys. But this is just a weekly thing where we have a segment where we just chat with one of our listeners.
set
We
the
get to
bar
look
high,
at
Brian.
it.
It's
Which
what
is
I
very,
said to
very
Brian
cool.
yesterday when we were setting this up. I said, just come on and have a good time, and remember that if you screw it up, you're ruining the bit for everybody from now on.
He won't. He already has it. So it's perfect. So Brian, you've been listening for a long time. You were motivated to come on, and you wanted a panel with us. What is something I want to give you a chance? Is there anything you wanted to do before we cut you loose here? Because I wanted to ask. This is the listeners segment each week that we do.
Wow. I mean, we could talk.
I don't want to
about
put you on the
NOLA.
spot. I just
Yeah, it's
wanted
okay.
to.
We
what did you
actually did
think?
meet in NOLA the night before the show, Mike. We met in the street. We met you and Carla, and you were going to tell me I have a great bit for tomorrow night's show. It's a Larry King bit or something like that. And then we went to I forget exactly what it was, the Italian place there that had those great subs that you told me about.
John's
what's the
Market.
play? John's Market.
Yes.
Muffalata.
With the
So
muffalata.
we did meet before
Yeah.
that, yes. And then the next day I ran with your wife and Jim Norse or whatever. his
So
name is.
Carla knows you from. Now I remember you. I remember because you didn't you go running with my wife?
You asked during the live show, and I was the last guy that wanted to raise my hand during that because I
I
was
gave you
not
a really
running
hard
with my
time.
shirt off. I was not
Yeah.
running with my shirt off.
Yeah, stud. Yeah, it's like we're gonna, and several people ran that
Yeah.
morning, right?
Yeah,
through the French
New
Quarter.
Orleans.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I was back at the hotel going. That's the way.
Help me with the jewelry.
Help me with the jewelry. Carla, I just went out for a run with a man my proper that's closer to my age than you.
I'm running with a state trooper.
And so beautifully fit. That's exciting. So, but you did have the balls to raise your hand at the live show and say you ran. And see, but this is great. This is why, to be honest with you, I'm an easy guy to cheat on. Okay, because I have no memory, Brian. I have no real memory. I mean, now I know. Since you brought it up, since you I trust her. By the way, I don't think she's doing that. But if she chose to, it would be simple. It would be easy peasy. I'd be hurt for a while, and it
actually
would be,
might take off some of the pressure.
That's true. Brian, we'll give you the last word. We're just having fun. Congratulations on your baby. Thanks for being the first one to call.
Yes.
Anything that you want anybody want to say hello to or anything like that? It's good to see a talking head. It's good to see a face with not just the anonymous phone calls.
I know my wife's actually watching the live stream right now. So hi, Christy, love you. And
hi, Christy.
I will just say that the organization I volunteer for, it's called Foundation for Heroes, f4heroes.com. We do hospital visits. We do visits to veterans. We've been over to the Veterans Hospital in Bethesda. We go to Johns Hopkins, Baltimore City. Well, we used to anyway until the pandemic. So you're definitely, please check it out.
Where can they go to get give that plug again, please, so we know where people can check out your organization?
f4heroes.com.
F4heroes.com.
As someone who had a kid that spent a lot of time in hospitals, the people that make those visits, it means so much. It means a lot more than you probably know. So thank you for doing that. That's really cool.
And last question, Brian, did you ever touch my wife inappropriately on your jog in New Orleans?
Mike, I'm losing you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Good. Comedy Central right there. We'll be right back. Thank you, Brian. We'll take a break and come back with news. Oh, I'm sorry. Oscars Take right here on the Mike O'Mara Show. Remember, programming note, Oscars Take will be in the next segment.
Yes.
Just got a little,
no worries.
Even when I'm talking about it, I'm joking about it. I just, it's the guy that ran with my wife. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. We are seeing a lot of kids stuck inside lately, wasting their days away. Like, if you wanted to jog down a street,
shirtless,
jog down Bourbon Street and grab a water.
When his shirt's off, where does he put his badge?
I'm not sure. If you think it's impossible to get a kid to put down the cell phone or video game and do something that's good for their brain, you're wrong. It's very possible. Let's take a second to talk about KiwiCo.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's a science and art subscription box for kids, tested by kids. More fun than any game they can play, and I was truly surprised by how much we both enjoyed it. Michael loves getting things in the mail, and he loves doing it by himself mostly. I love helping him as well. It's great to spend quality time tackling projects together. Each box has all the supplies needed for that month's project. All you need is an appetite for fun. KiwiCo is redefining play with hands-on projects that build confidence, creativity, and critical thinking skills. There's something for every kid or kid at heart at KiwiCo. Get your first month free on select crates at kiwico.com/TMOS. That's KIWICO.com/TMOS. Yes, we'll do Oscars Take after this, but we have just a couple of minutes here. I did want to mention on the theme of age and being older and trying to be handy. This is a moment, just tiny little moment that happened, but it's real, so I share it with you. We have the house from hell with the lemon house, where
it's a lemon.
All the appliances. So the latest is the Samsung refrigerator, which I just have a bad relationship with. Just from the get-go, I don't like this refrigerator. I don't like the ice maker. I don't like anything about it. And of course, it's 5 seconds after we close on this house, we walk in. I'm hearing beep, 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 and there's a little indicator that the filter for the water that comes out of the refrigerator has to be changed.
The
okay?
worst. It's the worst.
It's a process. But I've done it with another brand. I don't remember what the old brand was. But, it's something that I chose to do. And I said, okay, I'll get cracking on it.
Yeah.
And the first thing to do normally is to find where the filter is. Well, the Samsung people get credit for this.
Oh, God.
Because the Samsung water filter unit is smack dab between the crispers.
What are crispers?
They're
drawers.
the drawers that go on
okay.
the right side. There it is. The old one, I had to go back behind the milk and the eggs and stuff and like pull down a lever. The Samsung one is right there between the crispers. Do you Rob, you're going nuts. Do you have a Samsung refrigerator?
No, I have a Whirlpool, and I'm jealous because I have to clear off my entire top shelf because to do the filter, you have to push up to release it, kind of like a sunglass holder in a car. You push up and then it lowers, but if there's anything on the top shelf, you can't get it out.
You can't
so
do it. So
move
this
everything.
is convenient. And I go over and I'm like, hey, this is going to be no
Isn't this
problem
great?
at all. I go to YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. We've all
Great
changed our
browning
lives.
element.
Yeah.
Great filter location. I said, and by the way, when you go to YouTube for mundane household tasks and you put in, how do I change the water filter? And I put the brand name in there, you get people that love to hear the sound of their own voice.
Yes.
And so you'll get this guy that comes on and goes, hello, I want to tell you how to do this water filter treatment. And I'm like, oh, Jesus
Mike,
Christ.
you know who that guy is? That's Sam.
Sam.
Samsung.
Samsung. Very interested to do the water filtration. And he starts to, as soon as he starts on another tangent, I go to a YouTube video to say, where's the water filter? How do I change it? As soon as I get, water filters are very important. Nope. You're not going to lecture me on how you design the product, you idiot, you jackass.
It's time spent
Just
watching.
show me how
They're
to do
just
it.
trying to make it all about themselves.
So
TSW.
I get this. I finally get the third one. It's got the water filter is located between the crispers. You just twist it and pull it out. So I go over and go in between the two crispers, and I turn, and I turn again,
Oh.
and then I turn again. And I'm like, oh, it's locked. I can't unlock it. I watched about 9 YouTube videos, and I finally go, let me just try it one more time. And this time I go like this, and I put a little more pressure, and it easily comes out. Because I'm old, and I'm weak, and I wasn't successful. It was simply
I disagree.
Strength.
I disagree.
What's that?
Because a fridge and the material that the internal components are made of are very dainty. Like, you think you're going to break anything you touch in that thing.
You do.
So,
especially when the ice maker fell on the floor.
You have
crushed it.
When did that happen?
That happened the same day. I was working on the refrigerator.
You have a track record.
Yeah, I know.
Where you'll go Hulk smash without trying to be Hulk smash.
Yeah, okay, thank you. That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
That makes me actually feel better. I get it.
Yes, so you're in a good spot.
But I pulled it out, went over to the Lowe's. I went there. I said, I held it up. We didn't even have words. I held up the filter. He goes, bottom row. There it is.
Yes.
Took it
There
home,
you go.
screwed it in.
$120.
Delicious liquid IV water. That's right. Well, they're not cheap.
They're not
cheap.
No.
But there's no arsenic in my water.
Oh,
We'll take a break. Come back with Oscar's Take right here on the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Stars, they're just like us.
Yes.
Kanye West grates his own cheese. Katy Perry loves to use her weed eater. And Alicia Silverstone says that during self-isolation, she and her 9-year-old son, Bear, have been taking baths together.
This is true.
It was previously revealed that she also chewed his food for him like a bird. So here's the question. Do we start a GoFundMe or just start paying the kid's psychiatrist directly? Oh, yeah, and he's a 9-year-old vegan. There you go. See? Just like you. But those are showbiz stars. Frankly, I much prefer Facebook stars.
Who doesn't?
And so should you. I love the whole construction of that. That's fascinating.
Thank you.
It's super easy. Oh, Carla brought me a Diet Coke and avocado toast.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Oh, that's nice.
Mike.
And then time for a bath.
You're such a basic California girl.
Hey, I know.
Hold it. It's nice
Carla
that she brought
O'Mara,
it.
what are you doing here?
How was your run, Carla?
Yeah.
Mike, it's
we
nice
had
that
your
she
boyfriend Brian Thomas on.
She's not going to chew it for you, though?
No, she's not him. Send stars while you're watching. Simply click the star next to write a comment, select how many stars you want to buy and give, and then click send, and that goes to the show. So, do you have another joke?
I think there's a joke at the end, isn't there?
Every star puts a penny in our pocket, and that adds up, so please do it now. Shoot a few stars our way. There will be pennies from heaven for me and you. Now, honey, Come get into the tub with Batgirl. There you go. Alicia Silverstone. And now,
I couldn't believe that, but it's true. Yeah.
Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Oscar's Take.
Oscar's Take! It's been a while.
Mike,
Review.
I can take care of it right now.
A review and comment on the news of the day that only our Bolivian Bolivianer can do it. Oh, that looks good.
It's breakfast time.
Yeah, it's time for good fats.
Today, Oscar's Take. A review
Oscar's
and comment on the
Take.
news of the day is only our Bolivian Bolivian can do it. The views expressed by Oscar Santana in no way respect the view, in no way reflect.
Oscar's Take.
Man, this avocado toast will really get your gums slapping.
Juices flowing.
Yes.
Hey, it's Oscar's Take. Oscar. Woo!
So good.
Tasty.
And now,
Yes.
Oscar's Take.
Oscar's Take.
Oscar today is Oscar today is National Donut Day. Lots of donut shops are offering deals, including Krispy Kreme and Dunkin' Donuts, giving them away for free. Really? I didn't know that. Here are America's 10 favorite types of donuts, according to a survey in honor of the holiday. Glazed, Boston cream, chocolate frosted, jelly, chocolate cake, maple, blueberry, bear claw, powdered sugar, and pink frosted. What's your take on this, Oscar?
Mike, I have two options. One is a world record. The other is a question about diabetes. Which one do you want?
Whatever you want.
Okay. Mike wants avocado toast. I'll share the world record. Did you know that when it comes to the Guinness Book of World Records and stacking donuts, that world record is incumbent on the donuts not deflating as they're being stacked. So they have to stay the same actual puffiness or the inflation of them have to stay the same as you're stacking them.
Because is there a strategy of putting them down
Correct.
to make them
Bingo bango, a man who knows his donuts.
Mike,
Well,
that would give an advantage. Advantage to
What?
cake donuts over glazed and raised because they're more
that's a
hearty
fact
donut.
I didn't need. All right, I didn't need that fact at all. But anyway, that was an interesting fact. You're listening to Oscar's Take.
Oscar's Take.
Oscar.
Cake donuts, Mike.
Oscar Forbes just released this year's list of the top showbiz earners, or the richest people in show business. I'll give you the top 10.
Please.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, $87.5
Number
mil.
1 or number 10?
Number 10.
Okay.
LeBron James, $88.2 million. Howard Stern, $90 million.
It's okay.
Okay. Soccer star Neymar,
Yes.
$95.5 million. Tyler Perry,
Yeah.
$97 million. Number 5, soccer star, another soccer star. Jesus,
They call it football, Mike.
The soccer star is Lionel Messi.
Messi, yeah.
$104 million. Another soccer star at number 4, soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo, $105 million.
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
Tennis stud. Yeah, I know tennis. What is tennis? I can't believe. Roger Federer, $106.3 million.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
Kanye West, $170 million.
His sneaker line,
And
the Yeezys.
self-made non-billionaire Kylie Jenner, lapping the field with $590 million. There's your top 10, Oscar. I'm going to have some avocado.
I'm all for a capitalist economy, Mike. That we literally, if you do it and you do it right, or you're lucky, I think all those have to come together. You're rewarded.
Yeah.
The Kylie Jenner thing, and it's not me upset about the situation. It's an unfair advantage for her, where she's already winning at life. What really has turned me on that enterprise is that they had to lie about it. Is 500 million not enough?
Because they suck. as
Right?
human
Right.
beings. Yeah, they're despicable.
So that's what burns me. When I hear that list, that still burns me.
Yeah, 590 million makes me want to cry. You're listening to Oscar's Take.
Oscar's Take.
Oscar, a new survey asked people if they think.
Little slow. Sorry.
A new survey asked people if they think that, in general, nice guys finish last. 25% of people say nice guys finish last. 38% say they don't, and the rest aren't sure. Men are more likely than women to believe nice guys finish last. 28% of men say it's true versus 21% of women. I really am interested in your take on this.
Mike, in business and in life, nice guys actually, and I've read this, and the book is called Give and Take by Adam Grant. nice guys actually have a longer lifespan in business and in relationships in the long run. If you don't get burned out, and if you don't off yourself because you've been used or cheated on, by the time you get to your third marriage, as Mike has proven, like you win. You'll get there. Like you'll always have a second chance.
Can you turn yourself into a nice guy? Do you think?
Me? Me, no, not so much. But but I think people that are built as givers, which are nice guys in my eyes, will always be givers.
All right. And Mike, it's also been proven that girls don't like it when guys finish first.
Yeah. You got to give back.
You're listening to
Oscar's take,
ladies and gentlemen. And finally, Oscar, a bride.
Yes.
Who was too heavy to be carried over the threshold has shed 112 pounds and finally realized her dream 18 years after her wedding. When Steph Gill wed almost 2 decades ago, weighing in at 252 pounds, her husband John simply could not lift her into married life.
Right.
After peaking at 308 pounds, Steph had a gastric bypass and took up running and now weighs just 140 pounds and was carried over her threshold by her husband.
This is why I think fad diets are fad diets. And this is why, and I had friends that have had the sleeve or gastric bypass surgery.
Sure.
And the doctor tells them, like, look, we can only do the surgery if you lose X amount of money, right? I mean, X amount of weight. And then you can lose. And then we'll do the surgery.
Right.
The surgery changes people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why sweat it out when you can have a doctor do it?
Yeah.
Right, Mike?
Hurry, get the phone. All right, we gotta get out of here. We'll come back with the audio. Rob Stewart. Happy Friday. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by our bonus packages. Coronavirus and protest update. Former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper is concerned about worrisome characteristics of instability in the U.S. following Trump's threat to deploy military force. Anyone who doesn't want to hear any other opinions from Clapper only needs to clap twice. Only needs to clap twice to turn him off. Oh, God. The White House. I knew it was coming, and I still lost it.
Of course,
the White House has fortified the security around the perimeter of the White House with tall metal fencing. Congratulations, Mr. President. You finally got your wall. And starting June 15th, England will require face masks to be worn on all public transit. The decision has nothing to do with the coronavirus. It's just cheaper than fixing all those British teeth. But remember, when you subscribe to the TMOS bonus show, it's jolly good. A 6th uncensored TMOS episode every week. Just click the banner at MikeOMaraShow.com. Also, there are nearly 500 other commercial-free uncensored bonus shows. A subscription just might cure your post-nasal drip. It couldn't hurt. It's your passport to the assport. www. full stop Mike O'Mara Show full stop com. I'm Mike O'Mara, and I guarantee it. Now back to the banana splits, already in progress. Where the hell did my audio go? I got it right here. There it is.
You got it?
Let's open it up. Yeah. Open. Hit. Oh. What the hell? Oh, I muted that. No.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, there it is. It's open. Wide open.
All right.
Good.
All right.
Do you remember some time ago, we had the lady that visited herself from March in January. It was like a time travel video, and she was warning about all the things that were going to happen this year about COVID and stuff. Number 1 on YouTube trending this morning, Julie visits herself from June back in to March. So this is part 2 of the same video.
Can you explain that a little more clearly? Because I'm not sure what what is it again? What did she do?
We did a video or a piece of tape on the Audio Vault a couple months ago where a lady visited herself from the future to warn her old-time self about COVID. About what was going to happen.
Okay, I remember it now.
Okay.
Right.
Now, this is part 2. So this is a visit from Julie, from June Julie. And this is a longer video than the clip I played. And I want you to know, we put this clip on our Facebook page. Visit and support her. All the revenue from this video goes to support the memorial fund for Floyd. And so, I mean, she's donating.
Are you okay? Are you doing all right here? What's going on?
I lost the name in my head for a second. I apologize.
All right, no problem.
But it's she's actually donating all the proceeds for this. It's funny and it's for a great cause. So check it out.
Hey, who are you? I'm Julie from June. Why does your face look like that? So do you want the good news or the bad news? I don't know. What do you think? Well, it's pretty crazy about the whole coronavirus, eh? What? The pandemic. Oh, is that not top of mind? Have you hit the murder hornets yet? Murder hornets? Murder hornets! No, not me. Sit down. Oh, verdict's in on the masks. Turns out, wear them. Well, that's great. That's it. But people must be coming together and staying united. People have been protesting. That's ridiculous. Shouldn't the police be involved with that? You know, don't they have a responsibility to protect and serve the health and well-being of every... Oh, I wouldn't.
It just makes you remember that we have lived
I have to be honest,
lifetimes.
I think that tape is not nearly as good as the first one was.
Yeah.
The first one, she was telling us what we are told to do, what we're not told to do, right?
But also,
I didn't get that. I didn't know. I don't know. It was jumbled a little bit. The audio was rough. It was just tough to understand.
Is she attractive?
She's lovely. Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
you were horned up. You're like, this is gonna kill.
Well, then everybody's horned up because it was number one on. It was number one.
I'm
on
with you.
YouTube this morning.
I'm just saying, like, we're impartial. We're just hearing a voice.
But the thing that's crazy about it is it makes you realize, really, we've lived 5 lifetimes in the last 4 months. It's crazy what we've been through.
We have. It's exhausting. It's not exhausting though. To me, I was going to say it's exhausting. No, it's not. It's the adaptability of human beings. I feel as though the new normal. I'm sitting in my house every day, and I'm thinking about, well, I should go out there, putting a mask on it. When we think about what immediately becomes normalcy, except in certain spots where every problem we have right now is predicated on people not knowing and not being decisive and not overcorrecting.
You're right. You're right.
In fairness, like if you are listening to the show and you have been furloughed or lost a job, that's real stress.
That's real stress.
That's real stress.
And I wanted to say, and yesterday a news story comes out where they're talking about that the virus is really primarily spread by these super spreader events.
I read it in the Post.
Yeah, what's the gist of this article is that it really doesn't spread. What kind of garbage is that, scientists? Okay, so you're telling us that the only time it's going to spread really significantly, and you're giving percentages that are complete and utter bullshit.
Oh, they're
because
made
you're
up.
getting people in their minds. Well, then that means the only thing I have to worry about is going to a major event at a church with shoulder to shoulder. It's just there's nothing. First of all, you don't know.
Right.
Have we? You know what's being cemented in my brain right now is we don't really know. I'll talk more about that later. But I mean, I was reading that and going, I threw my arms up. I said, what are they going to change next?
I saw that headline and I was like, man, is that one of my friends growing up?
Yeah.
Like super spreaders.
Mike, the one thing
super spreaders. I know what you're talking about. Yes,
the one thing that we know is that we don't know. That's the only consistent through the whole thing. Nobody knows, and that's horrifying.
But everybody is a talking head, and everybody's writing
even
an
on
article.
this show.
And everybody's everybody's saying that there's a vaccine that's coming out even on this show. Shut up,
Talking
Oscar.
heads.
All right, very good. Yeah, the talking heads.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, pipe down, Brian Thomas.
Yeah, from the guy that touched
How dare you?
All right.
How dare you?
You touched her.
Mike, you know who had a bad day yesterday was Australia Prime Minister Scott Morrison. All he wants to do is do a big media event to talk about their new home building initiative in Australia. So he's out there on a beautiful patch of land to talk about this new initiative that's going to help Australia really bounce back.
10,000 Australians.
Everyone get off the grass, please.
Sure. Let's just move back from there.
Get off the grass, please.
Hey, guys, I've just reseeded that.
Yeah, please, off the thing.
Sorry, man.
It's all good. Thanks.
So this guy goes to the Prime Minister with like 1,000 cameras on. He says, I just reseeded that. Get off the grass, please.
I love this guy.
He's got his job. He's taking it seriously.
But he also know what it takes to do that. Like, you got to pay for that. It's not.
Exactly.
It's expensive.
Get off the grass, mate. Meanwhile, Arnold is still in isolation and was interviewed for Yahoo News and was asked to recall one of the worst injuries of his career. Apparently, this one in Total Recall is the one that still stays with him. Pretty good story. And of course, Arnold always makes it to the front of the line.
Running after a train and smashing the window in with the gun. They did not explode the window before I hit the window with the gun. So therefore, I cut my wrist deep, and I had to get stitched up during lunch break, which was like at midnight, because we were night shooting. After I was stitched up and everything like this, we hid the bandages. We pulled the jacket all the way to the front and taped it up so we don't see the bandages.
Put the jacket over the front.
It's good that I like that Arnold's a little ballsy, not a diva.
I love that. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, 2 more quick tapes. First of all, great. Our Intelligentsia of the Week award goes to Fox News' Brian Kilmeade, who had this comment yesterday when he was
guy's a
making
legendary dipstick.
making fun of Mayor de Blasio. He had this to say.
He wants you to hum Imagine by John Lennon. He wants us to imagine John Lennon wouldn't be safe in the city right now. He'd be hiding in his apartment.
Yeah, John Lennon would not be safe in the streets of New York right now, just like he was safe in 1980 when he got shot in the streets of New York.
Kilmeade.
Brian Kilmeade.
I've never seen a human being that is on the national stage.
I know.
That is more vacuous. It's incredible. The guy has nothing going on upstairs.
No.
Unbelievable.
And then, let us close with this. A salute to the great city of Cleveland. Their mayor, Frank Jackson, was doing, I believe it was an Instagram video, and referred to his own city this way.
And even though Cleveland is perceived to be the butthole of the world sometime, right?
The butthole of the world.
My God.
I'll just let that stay there for 1 second, but I will say this.
How dare you?
Go Browns. Yeah. That's your Magic Audio Vault. Have a great weekend, everybody. Be safe.
Yeah. For some reason, I'm just wondering if Manassas is going to be having the train festival this year. You know, the model train festival.
They're in contention, Mike.
Yeah.
What's worse?
For some reason, Cleveland cannot serve.
What's worse, the armpit of America or the butthole?
Oh, butthole.
Butthole.
Yeah. I licked an armpit on this show. Yeah, no problem at all. Hey, we got a bonus show coming up, so we're gonna turn around that really quickly and do that for all you. We'll take a break. For Rob Spivak and Oscar Santana, have a great week. Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you Monday with a brand new show. Mike O'Mara saying so long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Before you go, please make a mental note. Today's show was made possible by the TMOS bonus packages. You can secure yours right now by going to MikeO'MaraShow.com and clicking on the red bonus banner. Buy it or give it. Either way, you're helping out TMOS, and that's a good thing. Thank you, and go in peace.
Thank God it's Friday!
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Oh, good for you!
Oh, hey, I wet my jockeys here.